Where's my coffee? You took it, didn't you? Silly armadillo. Oh! Hi everyone, and welcome! It's Friday, October 24th, 2008, and this is WFTL Bytes, your occasional daily FOSS and Linux news show with your host, me, Marcel Gagné. Today's episode is all about money, but before I get into money, I have to say thank you, and I have to tell you something. Amber MacArthur and that other guy who do CommandN, I'm just kidding, Jeff, and who do CommandN have just picked WFTL Bytes as their web pick of the week. Yay! Episode 154. You can check out the link down there, and they say nice things about it and even include a little clip from it. It's great fun. Thanks, guys. You make me feel like a king. And on that note, I'm going to put on my press hat for the day. I feel like a king. I do. It's wonderful. Anyway, like I said, today we're talking money. Money, money, money. Let's start with a really strange concept. We've got a company out there called Marlin. And who is Marlin? Marlin is a company that has decided that they can take on Apple and Microsoft on their own turf. And you tell yourself, hey, what kind of news is that? I mean, open source companies are doing that all the time, but they're going to take on DRM. Can you dig it? They're creating an open source version of DRM, which they figure is going to be better than anything that's put out by these guys. By the way, Marlin is already being supported by companies like Sony and Samsung. And they say it's going to be better, faster, stronger than any other DRM that's out there right now. Because it's open source, you'll be able to use your content on various devices. Because, of course, the open source DRM software will run on all these different devices in your house. The only trouble is people hate DRM. Everybody hates DRM. Now, the company understands that, and they say the reason that people hate DRM is because it hasn't been done right yet. And they believe they're doing it right. Well, I will not judge, but we will wait and see what happens in the future with that. Speaking of selling your open source project and going up against the big guys and so forth, you know that if you've got a great idea, what you need is money, money, money. It really does help, actually, to get some money funding your project to help you develop it and work it and market it and all that kind of stuff like that there. Well, Linux.com has an interesting little article on venture capital funding and how to go out and get VC funding for your open source project. They tell you all the ins and outs, who you got to talk to, how you got to do it. They explain the different levels of funding from angel investors, aka seed funding, all the way up to the big guys who eventually buy you out and you go IPO and you make billions of dollars. Sounds like a lot of fun. It's a great read. Remember, the links are at the bottom underneath these videos. Next thing I want to talk about comes from Computer World UK. It appears that Russian schools have had enough of this whole spending a fortune trying to keep their schools up and going with proprietary software. So they're also going free and open source software. Apparently they've been doing this for a little while. It's actually a little project that they were working on. And as it turns out, it was really successful. So they figured that by the end of 2009, there will be over 1 million computers installed in Russian schools for kids to use. And by the end of 2010, they'll all be running free and open source software. Pretty cool. I'm going to compare that, however, to Brazil, which has got 50 million, or is in the process of rolling out 50 million. That's million PCs for kids in schools, all of which will be running a Linux desktop with KDE. Seems like everybody's doing it in other parts of the world except maybe the United States. And I don't know, we got to give Canada a little kick in the boot when it comes to adopting free and open source software in schools. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that because, of course, I'm in Canada. And you, of course, as we talk about free and open source and freeze and beer, freeze and speech, a famous line from Robert A. Heinlein pops up, Tanstaffel. Tanstaffel stands for, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. So, just how much does it cost for Linux? Well, as it turns out, IT Wire is reporting that the Linux Foundation being the group that pays Linus Torvalds' salary, among other things, of course, has decided to try to put a price on what it would cost to build a Linux distribution from scratch. And to figure that out, they decided to go and check out Fedora 9. Well, here's the number they came up with. Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Because I think you need to be sitting down for this one. $10 billion. Actually, it's closer to 11 billion because it's 10.8 billion dollars. If you were trying to do that today and produce a distribution like Fedora 9, just to recreate the Linux kernel, which old Linus started in his basement when he was young and impressionable, versus old and unimpressionable or something like that. Anyway, if you were trying to recreate the kernel today, they came up with a price tag of $1.9 billion. You can read the IT Wire story down here, and I've also got a link to the white paper from the Linux Foundation which explains how they came up with those numbers. I think that's it. It's the weekend. Thanks again to CommandN for mentioning WFTL Bytes, and thanks for everybody out there who is supporting WFTL Bytes, because a lot of people are writing me and telling me that they love it and so forth. I'm happy you love it. WFTL Bytes.com, WFTLbytes.com. You can check out the earlier episodes. You can find links to the stories I covered. Great seeing you, or great you seeing me, or something like that. Anyway, have a great weekend. Bye. My coffee. Where the heck is my coffee? That's it. I'm done. I'm finished. Bye. Coffee. Where's my coffee?